What's up, everybody on YouTube? I am back from my vacation. Renee and I, we stayed in Canmore, British Columbia. Of course, that's kind of like the Banff area, which was phenomenal. It was so much fun, and just being in the mountains and in the snow. It's been a while since I've been in the snow, and I didn't know I would enjoy hiking and all the outdoor activities as much as I really did. I think this was my all-time favorite vacation that I've been on. It was actually just to get outdoors, and the scenery is just changing at every turn and curve around these hikes, and completely took my mind off of work and bodybuilding, and was just able to just be in the present moment, not even needing my phone or anything. It's just hard to find that kind of peace, which seeing that, I just kind of realized probably post bodybuilding, that'll be a place where Renee and I kind of end up, somewhere mountain, outdoor space. But anyway, for right now, we're back in San Antonio, Texas at the Muscle Factory, and this is the best spot for me to bodybuild at. So this is where we're at for right now. Where I am at in my journey here is I'm 8 weeks post-show. Gear's been low, been bringing body weight up just slowly and trying to get to the leanest point that I can now push in the off season. So here we are. I am week 0 on pushing up, and body weight ended up being 241 here as a baseline start, which is really cool because I posted my last year pics exactly 8 weeks post-show right after Thanksgiving, and I was 232 with similar conditions. So this is like 9 pounds up, and I feel like I have the formula for myself of just to repeat the process and try to do that again. I know I can with how I progressed and what I've been able to learn and implement over this last year. By the way, we're gonna start a pull session today. We'll jump in and give you some further updates on the nutrition, training, and progression over these next 20-week block. Okay, pull session for today. I have 2 pull sessions per week right now. Well, actually, let me start with my split. Through this post-show phase, I've been running push, pull, legs, off, repeat. 1 leg day's quads, 1 leg day's been hamstrings. And that hamstring day's been pretty short. It's like hams, biceps, calves, and abs. And so I basically have training everything every 4 days. And so that's been great for recovery-wise. I feel super fresh. Connective tissue, pains, there's nothing there. Everything can be going all out executing in the gym. So I'm in a great position recovery-wise. With gear going up, I am going to change the split a little bit and going back to what I did the past off season, because that worked extremely well, just with a few changes based on where I see my physique needs more progress. So I'm going back to a push-pull off, push-pull legs off. My pull day, I'm going to bring my RDL hip hinge into that day, as back progressed extremely well last off season, so I don't need more work to back. So except focus on traps is my feedback. So, but just through programming, I can do that of how I organize the exercises and adding in some more Kelso shrugs to account for that. So my back sessions are not that taxing. So on this day, my hip hinge will come in, but that'll start next week. So I'm letting gear raise up a bit this week. Also, this rotating split, I'm trying to get it to where my set rest days are Tuesdays and Saturdays. So I just need to run this course of this week out. But this session will turn into more of an upper back kind of day with a hip hinge. My push days are the same, just with some exercise variation. They're all focused on chest. Then I'll have a full-on leg day, which I'm really excited about because I got a transformer kabuki bar that I just can easily execute in a goblet squat setting. I'm excited to push that lift up, pushing up my dumbbell press and all these lifts. I'm trying to get just every session come in and making sure I'm incrementally loading. On the pull down, we started on just putting on the smallest increment of load and matching reps. If there's another rep to take, you take it. But that's how I'll go through every session. I'm just trying to progress up, making sure I keep up with the adaptations to the previous session. So that's why I'd say if you're trying to progress your lifts, then your compound lifts, just add on the smallest increment of load, go for a rep match. If you take an extra rep, that's great. On your isolation movements, they're gonna move slower because the load's light and it's harder to micro load those. So just let the reps come as they will. So that leg session, it will have a squat in, but it'll also be training just hamstrings just through prone and seated leg curls. So that's going to be basically the session's breakdown. And my priority this off season is definitely chest, and then traps was the feedback, and then just overall size kind of everywhere. And I absolutely will take that progress. Like, just knowing the position I'm at and the focus I have right now for this, what I've mapped out for the rest of the season, like, I'm so focused just on bodybuilding. Like, I'm not doing much of anything else outside of like working at home. So started with the pull down, 3 sets there. This one's kind of more focused. Again, this session's kind of a more upper-ish back focus, so kind of upper lat to trap area. So focus on keeping the torso lean back a bit. You'll feel it more like in that area, more like Terry's major kind of upper lat piece. So next exercise we move to chest supported T-bar row. So moving to more upper back focus. Not going straight out 90 degrees, but it's just right below 90 degrees where my upper arm travels. So focus here is just trying to get full protraction, retraction, and starting with a little heavier set 6, and then back off and wait and do 2 more sets. I have added in 1 Kelso shrug, and what you'll see on this one is I widen my grip all the way up, and what that'll do is it'll line up a little bit better with the traps to be able to fully just retract and train kind of this mid to upper trap. It's really like in this plane where you can get actually better development of your traps, your thickness throughout your rear double and your rear lat spread, doing more of a horizontal type shrug over like that vertical shrug pattern. So doing 3 sets here. Diet setup right now, I'm just moving from this post-show phase, just letting gear take effect, and a lot of times that will be alone enough to start driving body weight up. So I'm right at 575 grams of carbs on my train days, 330 grams of protein, and 65 grams of fat. On my non-train days, fats come up like 10 grams just because I have like some salmon or beef that day. And then carbs will come down to 330 grams. So I do have quite a bit of discrepancy here, but I train for, I'm in here for about 2 hours with the full session. I'll do HIIT cardio after all my upper days, except I won't do it on this back and ham day. So it will be 3 days a week for HIIT. So it's a pretty high expenditure day, which I just watch where my body weight moves, and that's kind of dictated how I've put more calories on my train days versus my rest days. Most people might not need that big of a discrepancy, but this is where, for my output, fits the need. So after T-bar row, moving on to a single arm lat row. I do the Rogers 3-way row on my other day, which is, I think it's one of the best single arm lat rows we have. That's taken today, but I do like some variation in here, which I'm just doing a single arm cable row. Best around with dumbbells. Dumbbells, it's kind of tough with the bracing and also coordinating dumbbell to get out of the way, or get your leg out of the way of the dumbbell while you're rowing. So I just do doing this cable row, 3 sets here, 6 to 10 reps. Again, the focus for this session is still like kind of upper back bias, so I'll have another upper back row, but I'm still always starting with a pull down first in all my sessions, just because I feel like fatiguing out the traps and that upper shoulder complex, you want that control in your overhead movements. So I've always programmed like lats first, and it's more common to see someone with no lats and lots of trap over no trap and lots of lat. So I'd rather have the width aspect. Even in my, you'll see more improvements in your shots over just having an upper back row first, if you think about it. I mean, your front relaxed, your front lat spread, your front double, your overhead ab thigh, your rear shots, they will all show lat. So I'd rather have that be a priority still to build out the X frame, and then just put more sets or Kelso shrug in on my upper back movements. 4th compound exercise day is hammer strength isolateral row. So this one I sit up pretty high, and the rowing pattern is pretty much moving up towards just purely mid upper trap work, rear delt work. This is nearly a shrug pattern, but again, like remembering my needs here is kind of more trap focus and upper back session. So ideally I want most of the day to be chest braced. That way I can have I'm going to put my hip hinge at the end of this session. So I know I do have this single arm cable row, but again, like it's a single arm cable row, so it's not like it's super taxing on my erectors to where I won't be able to hip hinge sufficiently. This session's pretty short. My bicep work is on my hamstring day right now, tomorrow. So I basically after this I just have a rear delt exercise, prime, lateral, rear delt fly. I do 4 sets there, and that's the session. So it really, like, I stay pretty fresh throughout this. I could handle a lot more volume on back if I wanted to, but this is plenty to make me grow. And you know, this goes to the point of, like, a lot of people ask me, what split should I follow? Can I do this split? It's the wrong question to start with, because what you should be starting with is what is your needs of your assessment, and then also considering what schedule can you adhere to, and that might play in for a lot of people what rest days are going to be present. Then from there it comes to like, what is your volume needs, and your split is determined through all those things, and just how you need to organize that volume throughout the week. Ideally to probably hit everything twice, but if you have lower volume needs, you're going to find that some sessions would be really short, so it's going to make more sense to do more in one day. And that might lead you to having an upper lower split, or it might lead you to having a push-pull legs upper lower, or a PPL, 1 day off split. Lots of things are going to work here, but it purely comes down to like how much volume can you do in that session to get adequate stimulus for a muscle. Could you add more muscle groups to that day? And then what frequency do you need to hit that again at for your total weekly volume? And so lots of different splits can work. Like, think beyond the splits. Like, you could have days where you have like a full posterior day, right? Like, you know, you can get away from the naming where you have like biceps on a leg day or side delts on a leg day, because that is your volume requirements for the week to get that all in. But anyway, this wraps up this session here, and thank you everyone for tuning in. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below, or something you want to see from me this off season, maybe the next video I put out, what muscle group you want me to kind of run through, or you want to see day eating or whatever it may be. But anyway, talk to you next time.